Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. So Bitcoin recently going through a bit of a selling spree. We are now living in a rising channel here in Bitcoin. Not my favorite rising channel. The reason being is because it's really wide. This is a very wide rising channel. And this head and shoulders panel or pattern is still in play for Bitcoin. It's still in play. Again, we have a very low target, kind of down near the 6,000 level for this head and shoulders to play out all the way to the downside. But right now we are still, that hasn't played out yet. We still have life in Bitcoin. You still could get some pops up here towards the 16,000 level almost at any given moment once we get some volume coming in, like we saw right here. Okay, the last time we spoke was after this big volume pop. In the video before that, I said, hey, you know, we can. We were down here, and I'm saying, hey, we can, you know, life can be breathed into Bitcoin at any time, and boom, it was, you know, given life right there, and we had a nice tradable rally, which was sold down. Now we're living back down towards these levels, and that can happen again, but volume isn't nearly as low as it was over here. Volume's a little bit high, indicating a little bit of distribution down here. That's how I'm reading this chart, but you know, we haven't broken down yet, so you cannot count your chickens before they hatch. And so we're not going to do that. But I do want to show you a bit of a symbiotic chart that I'm seeing between this price action between 20,000 and 10,000 and what I'm noticing between 5,000 and 3,000. So let's go down here towards 5,000 and 3,000. And one of the first things you're going to notice is they pretty much look exactly the same. They pretty much look exactly the same. It's a very interesting. We have a very similar head and shoulders, although the shoulder on the right is higher on this one than, so here, I think, is this the head and shoulders? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Oh, this is a 2-hour chart. That's why it looks weird. I usually look at this on the daily chart. Anyway, 2-hour chart's fine. So here's the spike down to 10,000 or 3,000 in this instance. We have a big pop up. We had a nice little cup with handle here. Okay, here's a nice little cup with handle, which we broke out of. And then we rolled over and tested these lows. But if you notice, both of these lows were kind of spike lows down here. And then Bitcoin trended up in this narrow channel. And it really didn't waste any time going higher. Right now, we're kind of sitting in this area of the pattern, I believe. But the problem is we're living at the lows, and we're not just kind of channeling higher. Also, there was a lot more volume interest over here in this level past the bottom than there is currently. But I did want to show you that these chart relationships are very similar. This head and shoulders did resolve itself, by the way, to its full potential of 3,000 to the downside. This particular head and shoulders did. But going back here towards current times, so now you can see it. We have the cup with handle here. We broke out, we came all the way back down, but we're not really V'ing up. We're kind of living in these low levels. This needs to get going over the next day or two. Otherwise, I think we're in danger of just kind of an exhaustion sell-off. People that are expecting this to bounce, when it doesn't bounce, they're going to start taking risk off of the table, and that could lead to something bad for Bitcoin and probably overall for the general altcoin market, which is why we're seeing a lot of really interesting action in the altcoins. And that kind of leads me to something else I want to talk about is when you're in these types of market situations, you have to understand that the market cycle has changed. Okay, we all just came out of a huge rally in cryptocurrencies, and now we're seeing some big sell-offs. So during this point in time, you want to look for some good values in crypto. You don't just want to look for breakouts. You want to look for values in cryptos as well. And a couple ones I just want to point out to you real quick. I think there's some decent value to be had in Bitcoin Cash at these levels. Bitcoin Cash, we have we're in a very low volume situation in Bitcoin Cash. Also a kind of a symbiotic pattern between this spike up here to the 2,500 level and this base right here. So we have a spike up and a big drop down, spike up and a big drop down, and then we kind of have this triangle pattern that gets shaken out to the downside. And that's where I think we're sitting at right here in this type of a pattern. So hopefully this can resolve itself kind of slowly to the upside. You hold this for a couple of weeks, and you can probably get, you know, dozens of % out of this coin, anywhere between, you know, 20% upwards to 50+% out of this, depending on where this goes. If Bitcoin stays healthy, obviously. Another one I'm looking at too is Litecoin down at these levels. Litecoin down at these levels reminds me of its previous run when it went up to 100. Went past 100 actually. This had a big 66% sell down. This was also 66% sell down. And then Litecoin went sideways for a few months. This may do something similar to that as the sellers kind of wear themselves out. Those are the two big ones that I really wanted to point out to you guys. Give me a second. There was, oh, Verge. Verge right now I think is a really good value. Verge is one of those coins that came out of nowhere. There were some guys that were accumulating it. Some guys in my chat room actually have been accumulating Verge for quite some time. But it came out of nowhere basically. And if you take this breakout point, it popped just a tremendous amount, 1,200%, just a couple of weeks. And we've had a nice big pullback in Verge, about 43% pullback. So you're going to get about an 80+% gain out of this. Okay. If it doesn't even go into all-time highs. And Verge has a decent market cap, but it can still definitely get higher. So a Verge, I think, is another quality coin that is going to be a leader during the next rally. And that's what you want to start thinking about, folks, is the next Bitcoin altcoin rally, which may not happen for a number of months. The way that the patterns are looking, they're very broken. And when these patterns are broken, they take a while to resolve themselves to get back to the upside. So all right, guys, that's my video. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe if you liked it. If you did subscribe already, hit the like button. Do me a favor, leave a comment. Check out my tip addresses below. Check out my website, Real-Crypto. Just chat with me, guys. Love to talk to you. Hit up my Slack chat room. Got a couple of things we're doing in the Real Crypto community coming up here in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. And hold up Bitcoin for me, will you? I'd appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Have a good day.